Thousands of Israeli troops are staged along the border with Gaza ahead of an expected ground offensive. Both sides continued trading rocket fire today, like they have since the war broke out. The near constant bombardment comes as the humanitarian crisis in Gaza worsens. Officials say hospitals in the region are almost out of basic necessities. And in Tel Aviv today, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken reiterated his support for Israel while meeting with the Israeli Secretary of Defense.
You know our deep commitment to Israel's right, indeed its obligation, to defend itself and to defend its people. And in that, you have and will always have the support of the United States.
CBS News foreign correspondent Ian Lee joins us now from Tel Aviv. Ian, good to see you. What is the latest we're hearing on a potential ground invasion?
Hi, Ed. Yeah, that's the thing that everyone is waiting for. It could happen at any moment. Likely, the Israelis are not going to tell us it happens when it happens. I can remember back in 2014 when that ground invasion started. The Israelis didn't tell anyone until hours after it had begun. But we saw on the horizon it light up with explosions, with bullets, with missiles being fired. And that was the indicator that that war, that ground invasion had started. And that's likely what's going to happen again. People seeing a real increase in the fighting in Gaza as they launch their ground invasion, Ed.
And to be clear, the missiles, the rockets have been fired from both sides of this ever since it began last weekend. It's more now we're waiting for the explicit ground portion of the conflict to intensify. I know throughout the day there, you've been hearing sirens blaring, not only in Tel Aviv, but across Israel, really. What have you seen? And are everyday Israelis still heeding those warnings and seeking shelter every time they go off?
You know, what's interesting, Ed, is, being here versus being in Israel versus being in Ukraine, both places have air raid sirens go off. Here in Israel, when those sirens go off, it's usually because that a very specific area is under threat of being hit by a rocket, by a missile. And so most people do heed those warnings, go into a bomb shelter, and you see the roads empty out, people going into the ditches next to the road or going into a building, unlike in Ukraine, where people have been so used to the air raid sirens that they kind of ignore them. But those are large swaths of area. Here in Israel, very small. And actually, we can usually hear the Iron Dome system intercepting those rockets when they're being fired. Ed?
And down in Gaza, of course, thousands of people are heading to its south, including Americans who are now trying to get to safe passage into Egypt. What is the latest regarding the Rafah border crossing, which is that spot between Gaza and Egypt where people are able to cross?
Yeah, that's really the only lifeline that Gaza has right now, the only place that humanitarian aid can get through. And there has been a lot of back and forth between the diplomats from Egypt, the United States, Israel, and other nations trying to get that corridor really open so people can get out. Those people who have Western passports or foreign passports can get out through that crossing, but also, more crucially, get that aid into the country. And just to give you an idea, a lot of hospitals are saying they're running out of fuel. They have hours left. That fuel goes away. Their generators go down. They lose electricity. People could die. You also have food that people need to eat, water, other medical supplies. It's really critical that these supplies get in and that border crossing get open so that happens.
You know, Ian, in watching our coverage over the weekend, this morning, even on 60 Minutes last night, I noticed that there seems to be a growing level of more overt criticism or frustration expressed about how the Israeli government or military appeared to be caught off guard by the attacks. Is that criticism likely to manifest in any way and calls for a change in leadership in the coming days or any other kind of political accountability? Or is this still sort of at a level of just general, what on earth happened? Why didn't they catch this before it started?
You know, Ed, I've covered this story for over a decade, and I can tell you, coming back to Israel this time, there's a different feeling here than in previous times, especially after a war or other sort of conflict. People here are genuinely angry. They're angry at, first and foremost, the prime minister and his government for allowing something like this to happen. Israel has this legendary security apparatus, and it failed that day. Its intelligence failed, and that the result was over 1,000, over 1,300 Israelis were killed. And so people here want answers, and they do want accountability from their government. Right now, though, when you talk to Israelis, they say, first, they want to fight this war, and I think that's why we're seeing somewhat of this unity government with some members of the opposition coming into this war cabinet to wage this war against Hamas. But it seems like there will definitely be a reckoning, if it's not during this war, definitely afterwards. It reminds me back in 1973, after the Yom Kippur War, Golda Meir resigned because of that disastrous war. It's likely something similar could happen again. Ed?
We'll see. Ian Lee, to you and your team, thank you, and please stay safe.